welcome back to Winter Garden Coffee and Collab. I am here with Todd Bryant, and he is a financial advisor. And you might be like, are are we going to be talking about financial advising today? The thing is no. And you may have gathered that from the Yeti on spaghetti that we have, and you'll hear it in just a few minutes, just as we get into our conversation. But Todd, thank you for coming. This is this is going to be a lot of fun. I love having somebody on that's in such a field that you don't necessarily see their color and their character a whole lot. So I'm really excited to have you on today.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited as well. Thank you, Martha.
Awesome. First, I'm just going to set up the game so we know what the game is. Okay.
Okay.
So it's Yeti. I think it's Yeti. Is it Yeti on spaghetti? It's Yeti in my spaghetti, is what it is. So basically, what we do, it's kind of like Jenga, where you just pull a piece of spaghetti and then we take turns. And then whoever, pulls the piece that makes the Yeti drop loses, right? So, so there we go. I'll let you pull the first piece of spaghetti as I get my question ready for you.
Okay. Yeah, I've been eyeing this one here.
Oh, you've been eyeing it.
Ooh, it's moving around more.
One.
Yeah, I'm starting.
Oh my gosh! Don't drop him
getting
right away.
aggressive. There we go.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're gonna actually start out with a choose your own adventure question. Okay, do you remember those books? Did you ever read those?
Yep.
I love those. So choose your own adventure. So your kids are having a meltdown in the back of the UCF themed golf cart, which is notorious, right? First of all, tell us about the UCF themed golf cart, because everybody knows about your golf cart here.
Yeah, well, I'm glad the word is spread. But my wife and I are passionate UCF Knights. That's actually where we met in college.
Oh, cool.
And we very early on realized we need to indoctrinate our children in it. So when we moved to downtown Winter Garden about 6.5 years ago, obviously we had to get a golf cart, and I didn't just want any golf cart, but wanted to have a custom UCF golf cart. And there's a couple out there out around town that have maybe Gators, or some of our friends have a Georgia Bulldogs one, but there's maybe one other UCF one I've seen around, but we had to make sure that our UCF pride was showing as we're driving around town.
Nice. Very well played. I like it. So, okay, so your kids are having a meltdown in the back of the UCF themed golf cart. You can either A, turn it into a life lesson about grace under pressure, B, bribe them with Jeremiah's, or C, fake a radio broadcast and narrate the chaos. Which Todd move wins? And has it worked before?
Wow, that is a hard-hitting question to start off with. I'm going to avoid the Jeremiahs because as much as there is opportunities on a daily basis where they want treats, and one thing with Winter Garden, you're not too far from an ice cream place, regardless of where you are on Plant Street.
Right.
So I would say kind of a mix of a life lesson, but also the radio broadcast is a good way to kind of break the ice and get them to maybe calm down a little bit. So I would probably go with the radio broadcast, but also try to incorporate some sort of a life lesson in there.
Yeah. Very well done. Nice. Okay. So you wake up and realize that you're the star of a reality show. Are you starting to question coming here today, first of all?
As I'm pulling the spaghetti Yeti, yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so you wake up and realize that you're the star of a reality show called Plant Street Pop Quiz. What challenge do you crush? What completely derails you? And how do you redeem yourself in the finale? So Plant Street Pop Quiz. So I guess it would just be questions about Plant Street. So what things would be hard for you? What would you crush? And then what would be your redemption?
Plant Street Pop Quiz. I think the things that I would crush, kind of going back to with having an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old, if they wanted to know where a coffee place is or an ice cream place, I could very quickly point someone in the right direction on that.
Yes.
And help them out with that. Something that could be a challenge for me
I'm so sorry. Like, I am sweating right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to get so hard so
I
early on
think,
with the
like,
Yeti.
this guy is stuck, but once you start it, you have to commit.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, we'll just turn it under. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think one thing, this doesn't happen all the time on Plant Street, but I have been guilty of it before. I think Plant Street does a great job with when they have to close down the roads like they're going to be doing for the 4th of July celebration
Yeah.
soon. And they always put out advance notice. And my office, as you know, is located on Plant Street.
Yeah.
And a couple of years ago, when I would see the notices come out, we're kind of on the further end, the west, I guess it's the west end of Plant Street.
Yeah.
And they didn't used to close off the road in front of my office. So I saw the advance notices, there's a parade or something coming up, the road's going to be closed. And I believe it was a Friday. And I said, that's not going to impact me. And yeah, I'm working all day, and I go to leave, and our parking lot is blocked off, and I can't get out. So I'd say that's something that I had failed at previously.
Yeah.
Luckily, we live almost exactly a mile from the office, so I just called my wife and I said, hey, I'm going to be home a little late because I'm walking home carrying my heavy briefcase and stuff.
Oh my
so
goodness.
they came pick me up on the UCF themed golf cart about halfway through my walk. But that's something where I learned my lesson the hard way is like when you see those signs out there say the road's going to be closed, you need to pay attention to that.
Yes, pay attention to that. That's funny. I love how we got to weave back in the golf cart. If there's a way that we could weave in the golf cart to every single question, it's going to blow my mind. I'm just going to say.
I could do that.
Okay,
Challenge
all
accepted.
right. Challenge accepted.
Now, Martha, I'm assuming I can't take the one. Is there a rule as far as ones you can't take?
There's not. If you want an easy on topper, take an on topper. But I thought I just took an on topper, and I certainly was in the trenches with all the noodles.
See, like something
See,
like
there you
this.
go. Yeah,
But
no,
okay.
you're good.
All right.
That's like the Jenga pieces, right? Of the outsides, or sometimes it's on the middle one where they're just super easy. All right, let's see here. So this one, it's a little bit more of a vulnerable one. Are you open to this?
Sure.
Okay. As we're recording, I didn't tell him any of these at all earlier, so he's like, awesome. What's this gonna be? So what's one thing people think that you have figured out that you're still working on quietly? And then how do you stay grounded while you grow through it? So they think you have it all together, they think you have it figured out, but you're still working on it.
Yeah. There's a lot of different ways you could go with that because I feel like a lot of people, their kind of their online presence is much different than the reality.
Yes.
And I think that's a pretty common thing these days.
Yeah.
The first thing that comes to mind, though, is one thing that has made me unique in a sea of financial advisors out there is that 15, 16 years ago, I was speaking with a friend who was also a financial advisor, and we were on the phone one night, and he's like, I got to go, it's trivia night. And I said, oh, you play trivia? That's pretty cool. And he's like, no, I'm the host of the trivia night. And I was like, pretty successful financial advisor. What are you doing hosting trivia? He's like, Todd, that's kind of my secret of how I get a bunch of business. And he's like, it became for him, it became like a networking event.
Yes.
He's the host of it, and he's dressed nice, so people kind of assume he does something else. It's not like his only gig.
Yeah.
And they also somewhat think that he's smart because he has all this knowledge. So then that company a couple months later expanded down to Orlando, and I was one of the first hosts. And this was my second year in my career coming out of 2008. So I was dead broke at the time anyway. I could use the extra money.
Yeah.
I did drink beer at that time, and it was free beer, so that was good. And I was also, didn't have any kids or anything, so I could do this a couple of evenings a week.
Yeah.
And I started doing it, and I actually got a lot of business, way more business than I ever would have thought of by doing it. I did it for 7 years, once a week at a couple different local bars here in Orlando. And it led to all these different opportunities. It was a lot of fun to do. I got paid to do it, led to a lot of business. But to answer your question, people then would invite me to come to their trivia games because they're like, Todd has all the answers. He's the host. He's really smart. So they all assumed I'm good at trivia. But I'm really not. Yeah. And so I would never usually go play trivia because the expectations were so high. It's like if you went to go play with Alex Trebek, you're like, well, oh yeah, he knows everything. And then it turns out he doesn't know anything. That would kind of be like me. So that would be the thing that people thought I was really good at trivia. And outside of maybe some sports and maybe some movies, I don't really know anything else.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love it. It also kind of makes me want to be a
trivia host. It like makes me want to a little bit because I think that would be fun.
Yeah,
I don't think I have time to do it, but
yeah, it was a lot of fun. I've already have it. Maybe as I do have a side business that still does it for some places locally where they wanted to hire me, and I just brought in other people to do it, and so I still.
So
kinda
you're
have
a
that going
trivia
on.
host broker.
Yes,
Kind
there you
of,
go. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, so we need to add that to like the end of all your letters after your name, right?
Yes, yeah. You won't really find that on the website or anything like on my LinkedIn. It's not listed there, but
You heard it here, guys. Nobody else knows this. He's a broker.
yeah.
You need somebody. Come to him. Okay, so would you rather? Would you rather be known for your perfectly packed lunchbox strategy, which I feel like you're probably a Tetris kind of lunchbox guy. I feel like, I don't know, but, or your go-to pep talk for a friend in a crisis? Which legacy hits closer to the real Todd? Yeah.
Wow, that's another good one.
I know, right?
Yeah, I'd say, especially within my field where compliance is a real big thing, and you kind of have to have the perfect response or written statement for everything. That having kind of that perfectly packaged lunchbox thing is important.
Yeah.
But I'd say at the end of the day, what I wanted to be known for would be someone that is there for a friend or family member to be able to go to it and kind of be their go-to person for whatever it is.
Yeah.
A good friend of mine who I met actually right here in downtown Winter Garden. He bought a piano and needed people to help him put his piano into the house a couple months back, and I was the one that got the call and help him. I'm not really known for my muscles, but if I can help out with those types of things, something as kind of small as that compared to people that are really going through some tough situations, and in my field. Unfortunately, over the course of 17 years, I've had a number of clients pass away.
Right.
For me to be the person who gets that phone call to go and sit with the widow and help them through everything that they have, whether it's accounts with me or it's their credit cards or mortgage or bank statements or maybe valuables that they've inherited, helping them through all of those things and making sure that they know it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
That's where I get the biggest fulfillment out of what I do and how I can help others.
I love that. And it's important that, when you're in such a vulnerable space with people, it's like there are some people that have the bedside manner or have the ability to communicate on the same level, like as what these people are going through. And then there's other people that just treat it very cut, dried, ink on the paper kind of way, but it's not actually taking care of the people in front of them. And I love that that's a thing that's important to you, because it ultimately people can work with whoever they want to work with, right? And really, we want to know that the people that we work with actually care about us and that actually are going to, when real stuff happens, they're going to care about us instead of just the numbers or whatever, right? Like that's just an important thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right. So imagine this. Someone writes your biography. Have you ever thought of, do you have a book? Have you written a book?
I co-authored a book, yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
What was the book you co-authored?
It's called More Than Money, Real Life Stories of Financial Planning, available on Amazon.
We'll have the link below also, you guys. Cool, when was that?
That was 2 years ago, and it was every year since I started in the career, 2007, I write this 5-year vision, and I've got my goals and different things.
Yeah.
And so I started writing in there to become an author, and started to realize how large of a task that is.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm part of this group of worldwide financial advisors, and it turns out some of them also had that goal, and a couple of them were sitting down having coffee one day talking about some client stories, and they're just like, people might have a preconceived notion of financial advising or investing as this, when really it's about these stories and these people and things that happen and the good and the bad, and they were like, we should write a book with all these stories we have. And that's kind of what got that idea started, and they went to some other advisors in the group, and there ended up being 29 of us that collaborated. So each person wrote a chapter of the book.
Yeah.
And so it was a real life story. We changed the names of
Sure.
the people and everything, and they go through compliance and all of
Yep.
that. But yeah, so that came out 2 years ago as just a nice anthology of different, where you can go in and not just have to look at spreadsheets and charts and think about the money and the cookie cutter solutions, but really hear real stories of how financial planning impacted people.
Yeah. That's probably incredibly inspiring to people that just have no idea, or do have an idea but haven't thought of, this part of it or this part of it or whatever, it affecting these different places. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to grab it. I'm going to read it, Todd. Would you sign it? If I
Yes.
brought it to you, would you sign it?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yes. Might even have a copy for you. Just a couple. I can almost see my office from here. So.
Stop. Oh my goodness. Guys, so would you sign their book if they bring it to you?
Yes.
Yes.
Purple Cow Building, Plant Street.
Yep.
Call in advance, but
Call in
advance. You might not.
might
If
be
you
with
show up, I
somebody.
might not be available at the time.
Just show up with your book. You'll just have like a crowd of fans out front. Okay,
Yeah,
we've got the book. I love it. So, now getting back to this. So, imagine this. Somebody writes your biography and insists the subtitle must be one of the following. Okay, so this is going to be what subtitle should be on your biography. Powered by faith and black coffee. Mistakes were made, but snacks were involved. Or Excel sheets and existential questions. Which do you pick and why? Do you need the first one again?
Faith and black coffee for the first
Yeah,
one. I'd
nice.
say if this was more about the parenting journey, then I would say, thus far mistakes were made, but snacks were involved. I think that was something I learned pretty early on with the kids, was like, all right, if I just have snacks, like any meltdown like we talked about earlier on the back of the golf cart, if snacks are involved, that was kind of my way of making it work. I think what's interesting with the faith and black coffee, as I have the coffee here, and I'm a person of faith, as we've talked about and things, I would go with that because it's actually been a year ago today that I made a lot of changes within my diet, and part of that is intermittent fasting. So I do 18 hours of not eating, 6 hours of eating.
Yeah.
So it involves a lot of black coffee.
Black coffee.
As much as
Can't
I might.
break the fast.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I certainly enjoy having other things in the coffee other than black, but I think that would say more about me, would involve faith, which just being in the field I'm in, you got to have faith in multiple different ways, and one is faith in the stock market, and that when it goes down, it'll come back up again, and so I think that would encompass everything as far as the subtitle goes. Faith in black coffee. I love it.
Okay, so here we go. We're going into the very last question here. So your signature wealth site, which, by the way, his site is below. Make sure that you go to it. Make sure that you work with him, because obviously he cares about you. That's the whole. I simply don't bring people on that are not genuine people. He and I met at a photo shoot, which does not sound grounded at all. But it was a photo
Models on the side.
that's just what we were doing. But a photo shoot it was at your office, and it was for We Are Winter Garden / Imagine Marketing, right? So that's where we actually met, and we're still, oh my gosh, are you?
I'm going a little more aggressive.
You almost lost him.
You said it's the last question, so I gotta
we
start
do
going
have
bigger
to.
here.
Somebody's got to drop him. So we met then, and you could just tell you carry yourself in a way that is trustworthy, right? So like whenever you guys are watching this episode, don't just be like, oh, it's another financial advice. It's not. He's actually like a real, genuine, authentic person, right? And also your kids go to foundation, don't they?
Yep.
And my girl Nora is going to foundation again in the fall. We homeschooled for a couple of years, but she's going back in the fall. So we're also proud foundation parents. So there's that.
Go Lions.
Yes. I need a sweatshirt. I need like a hoodie.
I've got some swag built up the past couple of years.
Yes. I love it. Okay, so your signature wealth site bio mentions that you're passionate about helping others find clarity in chaos. Give us an example from your non-work life, whether it was a family trip gone haywire or a neighborhood event that needed Todd logic to save the day.
Yeah, another great question, Martha. I would say I think back to a trip that my wife and I took, and this was pre-kids. It was about actually 11 years ago, and oh,
I'm a bull in a china shop. There we go. I got it. Sorry.
yeah, I'm gonna go for this one.
Somebody's got to take him down.
Yeah.
He
So
can't sit on those spaghettis forever.
with chaos happening in this trip, it was an international trip, and going back to UCF and our golf cart, UCF played a game in Ireland, a football game in Ireland against Penn State in 2014.
Okay.
So we were going to the game, and as the somewhat frugal financial planner, there was these packages that you could purchase through the school. And I did some research, found my own package, which was very similar but a lot cheaper. So I went with that package.
Yeah.
And I was speaking with a friend. This was probably 2 months in advance. And he said, be careful with those types of things. You should probably, might want to verify the hotels and those types of things. It's like, that's a good idea. So I start contacting the hotels in Ireland that we're going to be staying at. And the first one was like, we don't have a reservation for that many people. And I called the second one, and they're like, we don't have a reservation for that many people.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, holy crap, we're getting scammed in this thing. So I contacted the guy. It was out of Ohio that put it together. He's like, oh yeah, I was going to reach out to you. We didn't have enough people sign up, so we're just going to need to cancel it. And so we
I was going to reach out.
Yeah, I was going to reach out. I was like, well, this is a trip to Ireland. We've got our plane tickets already, and now we have no hotels or itinerary or anything done.
Right.
So luckily I found a new one that kind of aligned well with that, and I reached back out to the guy, which he did seem genuinely like, I really dropped the ball. I'm so sorry. And he's like, now I don't know what I'm going to do with all these tickets. And I said, what do you mean all these tickets? And he's like, well, we had purchased 50 tickets to the game, and because of some international ticket rule, we can't sell these tickets.
Oh.
So then my business light bulb turned on. And I said, well, how can you sell them? And he's like, well, you can only sell them basically in person in Ireland. I can't sell them online. So I said, okay, well, how about you send the tickets to me, and I'll scout the tickets at the game in Ireland, and then we'll split the profits together. I'll give you a chunk. And he's like, oh, that's a great idea. So he mailed the tickets to me. And so then fast forward, we're in Ireland. The game's, it's the day of the game. And I'm out there on the corner in Dublin scalping these 50 tickets that this guy had. My wife was like, I don't want anything to do with this. I'm going to go stand over here further away from you. And that was kind of the clarity and the chaos moment of, luckily everything worked out. And I was able to sell some of those tickets. It didn't pay for our trip, but it helped pay for some of the Guinnesses that we had while we were over there.
That is wild. I love that you went and that your solution was like, listen, give them to me. I'm going to scalp them. I can do this here. This guy's going down. Should I just do it like a ripping off a Band-Aid?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Maybe we need to. Yeah.
He's not touching.
No, he's still.
Oh my goodness. I got 2 noodles.
That's impressive.
That's crazy.
That's
How
pretty
is he
cool.
still up there? Okay. I see why kids like this.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to. Let me just ask this, since he's not down yet.
Here, that was.
What was a time, so kind of going to, the book that you collaborated on, what was a time that was really meaningful? No names, no whatever, obviously. But what was a time that was really meaningful that, you worked with somebody and you're like, man, this really did help their life? If you're able to talk about that. If not, let's not. But because financial stuff is so tricky.
Yeah, there was a client that a lot of times the scenario when I'm brought in or when I'm introduced or referred to somebody, they probably had some sort of interaction with the financial advisor already. And in this case, this person had a very negative interaction with someone who was just very salesy and just trying to sell them a bunch of products that they may or may not need.
It's still not touching. Yeah.
So, and I'm going to clear off some of these.
That's
here.
what, yeah.
There we go.
These little guys are just extras.
And that was the case with this person. And so eventually, after a couple of meetings, I kind of won him over, and he became a client of mine. And for 7 years, we worked together planning his retirement. And he finally hit that date and that goal, and it was, I think, October, and this was a couple years ago. Looks like we have these.
I know. I'm looking at the structural ones.
This is where it.
Oh, that's where it's going down. All the weight is on. There he
there
goes.
we go. All right, he's down.
Ta-da. Ta-da.
So it was October of that year. He retired. I remember I bought him this package of a bunch of stuff that he likes, and he was also a Georgia Bulldogs fan, so like a Georgia Bulldogs Yeti and some other stuff. And I called him about a month or two afterwards just to see, are you bored yet? Because a lot of times they get bored and they want to figure something else to do. And I called him, and he's like, Todd, I'm at the doctor's office. I've been really sick. And it turned out, just right around the time he retired, he had an aggressive form of cancer. And about a month later, which at this point was like 2 or 3 months in his retirement, he passed away.
Oh my gosh.
And they lived about an hour and a half from here. So I drove out to his widow's home, and remember just sitting with her at the table, kind of like I mentioned before, with just all of their finances everywhere. And it was about 3 to 4 hours of just, a lot of tears and a lot of stories of sharing happy things, but just kind of walking her through everything. And she sent me an email afterwards. She had also asked me to come speak at his funeral. And that's one of the biggest honors of my career and my life, was just the opportunity, because this is not like a friend that I hung out with all the time. Like I would just see him maybe once, twice a year, and they lived about an hour and a half, so I don't really see him that often. But in the email that she sent, she said there's been 4 men in my life that I trust, and it was her husband, her son-in-law, God, and Todd. And she put me in the same thing as God. And
wow.
I cried reading that email. I printed it out. It's actually sitting next to my desk.
I would have done the same.
When I've got good days or bad days, I just kind of reference that email. And that really, for me, is a reminder of what I do. And with all the talk of AI and technology, I don't think that AI could really replace that.
Nope. Not the human, no, exactly. That's a whole nother conversation we could have about AI. Well, you guys, we had to reach our end because the Yeti has fallen. He still looks happy, and that's fine, but he's officially fallen. Todd, thank you for coming by. I appreciate this. This has just been a really good talk. I hope that, as you're watching this right now, I hope you're sort of seeing through the different episodes the hearts of Winter Garden, right? The hearts and the people of Winter Garden, and just what they bring to the table. So thank you. Signature Wealth Partners, Purple Cow Building. That's where he is, on Plant Street. So if you keep going past Plant Street Market, the Purple Cow on the left, that is the building. And it's a beautiful office inside. But we will see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.